Oregon, and today we're going to talk about accessing college as an undocumented student. Especially this time of year when everybody's receiving their financial aid offers, it can seem a little bit impossible to be able to afford to pay for college. But since you're here in Oregon, we do have several programs that are here to help you. So we'll start with this one. Students who are undocumented or who are dreamers, who have DACA status, they're not able to complete the free application for federal student aid, and they're not able to receive federal financial aid. But those students can receive funding from the state of Oregon, and they can receive funding from the colleges and universities that they're applying to. And the way that we do this is we have each student fill in something called an ORSA, or an Oregon Student Aid Application. So in order to get to the ORSA, what you do is come here to the, the FAFSA ORSA pre-filter tool. You see the website right up here. And then we answer some simple questions. So let's pretend that we are DACA and have DACA status. So in that case, we would, yes, have a social security number, but we are not a US citizen or US national. We'll say, yes, we've been granted DACA. And then it will say, oh, based on that, you need to do the ORSA. So if you went up here and change this, no, I don't have a social security number. No, I'm not a US citizen or US national. And the reason I changed this is because at this point, the DACA program hasn't been opened in several years, which means that none of our students who are graduating in the class of 2023 or 2024 at this point have had an opportunity to apply for DACA. Are you an international student or living? Nope. I don't have a valid visa or immigration status. And I've lived in Oregon for at least 12 months before attending college. So then what that'll bring up, it'll tell us to complete the ORSA. I've got way too many things going on up here. And this is what it looks like. If you've completed an ORSA in the past, they just had, they would call it a system update. It's more like a makeover. So, but you'll go in, you'll have an email and a password. If you don't have an account, you'll click right here, sign up. It'll talk about the information. We'll say, yep, I'm an ORSA student. And then it will ask you for your email, and then confirming your email, giving you a password, confirming the password, and that you're not a robot. Now, once you get into the ORSA, it's going to ask you all of the same questions that the FAFSA will ask you. So it'll ask you about your personal information. It'll ask you about your income in 2021, your assets as of today. It'll ask your marital status. It'll ask about your parents. If you're a dependent student, it'll ask their personal information, how many people are in their household, their income information from 2021, and their current assets. So we're asking the same questions as the FAFSA. We're using the same formulas as the FAFSA does. And with that information, with that output, we're going to use that information, that expected family contribution, to determine if you're eligible for two of our state grants. The first one's the Oregon Opportunity Grant. The Oregon Opportunity Grant is given to students who are from Oregon and are attending an Oregon college or university here in Oregon. That's a lot of Oregons, but we'll get through it. So you can see here who's eligible. You must have been an Oregon resident for at least 12 months. You're going to be an undergraduate student with no prior degrees, enrolled at least half-time. And then here, we're going to keep going down, complete your FAFSA or ORSA as soon as you can. The nice thing about the Oregon Opportunity Grant is that the only application that you have to complete is your FAFSA or your ORSA. So in your case, once you've completed your ORSA, you've completed your Oregon Opportunity Grant application. Now, the OOG, as we call it, the Oregon Opportunity Grant, your eligibility will be calculated, and that information will be passed on to the colleges and universities that you listed on your ORSA. So at the time that you get your financial aid offer, you will see your Oregon Opportunity Grant listed on that offer. So it's not anything that you're going to get a notification from Oregon Opportunity Grant beforehand. It's something that will show up on your financial aid offer. The next type of Oregon grant we have is the Oregon Promise Grant. And so the Promise Grant, a lot of people will call this free community college. I kind of put free in quotes. This will help you cover your tuition and your fees at any community college in Oregon. The deadline for this application is June 1st, and we're in mid-April right now, so you've got some time, but I really, really want you to get this done on time. You're eligible if you're receiving a high school diploma and have at least a 2.0 GPA, or if you have recently taken and passed the GED test, GED exam. What's really interesting is that, again, you can go to any college in Oregon. So it doesn't have community college. It doesn't have to be the community college in your area or in your community. You could pick up and move all the way across the state and attend another community college. Oregon Promise is really wonderful for a number of reasons. First, it supports students who are looking at certificates and associate degrees that will lead them right into careers. So this might be something like automotive tech. It could be dental hygiene. Trying to think of some of the other fun ones. Machine manufacturing, massage therapy, culinary program. There's a lot of different things that you can do with your Oregon Promise. The other thing that you can do with that Oregon Promise is that you can take classes that count towards your four-year degree. Now you've got enough Oregon Promise eligibility that you can take up to 90 credits, which is the equivalent of about 2 years full-time before your eligibility runs out. So if you're transferring from an Oregon community college to an Oregon four-year university or an Oregon four-year college, hopefully you can work with your advisors at both the community college and your intended four-year college or university to make sure that all of your credits are going to transfer over just smooth. You can, on the websites of most of our Oregon colleges and universities, look up transfer policies and even get down to the level of detail where if you take a certain course at your community college, so something like writing 121 and 122 is pretty much a no-brainer. But if you're taking English 104, who knows what that is? It might be poetry. You can look to see, if I take this English class here at my community college, will it transfer over to the four-year college or university that I'm interested in? And I will always be here as a help for you. The other thing I want to bring up, so this works really well. Oregon Promise works at our two-year public colleges. The Oregon Opportunity Grant works at our two-year public colleges, our four-year public universities, and our private independent nonprofit colleges and universities here in Oregon. What you will find, though, is that sometimes those private independent colleges and universities, not just in Oregon, but in different parts of the country, can be a lot more generous with their financial aid because they have more financial aid resources to give than our public colleges and universities. So I would encourage you to look at private independent colleges and universities, both here in Oregon and outside of the state, and see what they have to offer you. And again, if you need any help with this, I am very, very happy to be a resource. I also want to talk about scholarships. You might have noticed that I have a scholarship website picked up here. This is the goldendoorscholars.org. And Golden Door Scholars are exclusively for students who are undocumented and are working towards their first bachelor's degree in the United States. So this is a fantastic program. What you will also find, at least here in the state of Oregon, is that the scholarships that go through the Oregon Student Access Commission, that OSAC scholarship application, scholarships from foundations such as the Ford Family Foundation or individual funds at the Oregon Community Foundation, they don't discriminate on the basis of immigration status. So as long as you can complete the ORSA, if you can't complete the FAFSA, and the scholarships that rely on financial need as a component can get that information, they'll put you in the same applicant pool as FAFSA students. So it's become a lot more common I would say in the past, 7 to 10 years, to have scholarships that have been around and are historic in a way, that are open to undocumented students. You'll also find that some of our colleges are very, very, I call it friendly towards undocumented students. So if you're interested in pursuing a particular college, university, program, major, and you want some help, if you need somebody in your corner, I am very, very happy to be that person. So I'm going to let you go now. We try to keep these nice, short. I will be posting this video shortly up on our Google site, along with the websites that I've referenced here today, and maybe even some additional scholarship websites as well. If you have any questions, please give me a call. Well, you probably won't call me or email me, but please feel free to text me. And I'm really, really happy to help. Have a great weekend, and I will see you later.